What's good? Welcome back to the Renaissance Man's Templar, a place for you to come in from the battlefield of life to create, reflect, refocus, and remember, the war is yours, so let's conquer it. This is power, what separates the boys from the men, and if you want to conquer it with me, I suggest you hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, turn on bell notifications, and join the league of extraordinary spiritual kings.
The real man doesn't lose his value, but based on the dollar. And I think that, when a man is going to stand in his essence with or without, if he's a man at his core. Now, when they say don't let the money make you, a lot of men let the money make his manhood. And when that money makes his manhood and he loses the money for whatever reason, it takes a shot at his manhood.
So let me ask you a question. Outside of protecting and providing, what makes a man a man? Well,
the ability to provide, I mean, technically, if we're talking about providing obviously can come in the form of many different ways than just financial. Because technically, if I've already provided you to be the breadwinner by my investment, I don't care how much you make. I provided you this.
Have you ever had a woman that made more money than you?
I have.
And you don't feel like it affected the dynamic of the relationship?
No. In fact, it was the same as when I had relationships that I made more money than them. Mm-hmm. Because I'm a man in my core. The money, see, one thing about me, especially if I was him, I know I'm going to make money, especially because I've proven to myself I'm going to make money.
Right.
I can have $0 today. I know I have 10,000 by the end of the week.
Right.
And even if I don't, I know it's going to come sooner or later. Mm-hmm. But the money, the materials, the outside of me never affects the inside of me.
A man can provide a wide range of valuable contributions to a relationship, family, or community beyond just financial support. Money does not make a man. You hear a lot of the times, a man should be providing 100%, and a lot of the times that's what those debates focus on. When they say I'm a provider, when they say I'm a protector, but when you look into the provider, the only things that they're worried about is the money. But you see, men can provide other things other than money. He can teach you things. He can give you confidence. He can boost your esteem. He can show you new ways of living that you never considered yourself, right? Today we're going to dive into those things and really take a look at the things that men can provide other than money, because money does not make the man. It's simply a notch on his belt. It's simply a tool to be used to to imprint the world. You understand what I'm saying? And so let's look into one of the things that men can provide other than money. And being a provider to a woman is providing emotional support. Being there for his partner or family members emotionally is crucial. This includes actively listening, offering comfort, advice, and providing a safe space for her to express her feelings. Not to judge her feelings, not to say you're wrong, not to yell at her, but really providing a safe space for her to come and be able to lay her feelings all out on the table and to be heard. And a lot of men miss this. They think they can just throw money at the situation. Oh, if she's mad at me, give her $2,000. And yeah, a lot of women would like that, of course. However, they want to talk to you. They want to tell you how they feel. Number 2, time and attention. A lot of this right here, people just don't value. Spending quality time with loved ones shows you that you value them. This can involve engaging in shared hobbies, having meaningful conversations, or being simply present in their lives. Time is the number one thing that you can't get back. And at the end of your life, what you're thinking about? You're thinking about your loved ones. You're thinking about the memories. You're thinking about the time that you spent together. Those are where a lot of regrets come from. Number 3, practical skills. Many men offer valuable practical skills such as home repairs, car maintenance, changing the tires, cooking, all of these things, like different languages. Men can really be interesting. They doing music, and these skills can significantly contribute to the smooth running of a household. And that leads me into number 4, childcare. He can take care of the kids while you can do something else. He can rear the kids in a way that you are afraid to rear the kids because you are nurturing, but we're built a different way. We might give a more tougher love to give them more of a balance to be able to handle themselves and be more independent, right? While you're catering to them and pandering to them every time they cry, the man is sometimes allowing the kid to cry so that they learn how to self-soothe. The man is sometimes giving you a break from the kid so that they can learn how to not always be up under you so that you can get something done, so that you don't have to worry about all that crying. And that's really underestimated in a household. Active involvement in raising children, including changing diapers, helping with homework, and being present at school events, shows commitment and love. Number 5, physical affection. Intimacy and physical affection are important in any relationship. So he's providing the pipe, right? This can range from holding hands to more intimate acts, and it helps to strengthen the emotional bond between partners. Get some of that steam off your chest, or that weight off your shoulders. You understand what I'm saying? Number 6, intellectual stimulation. Engaging in a deep conversation, sharing knowledge, and encouraging personal growth can be very fulfilling for both parties in a relationship. You can meet a random guy on the street, but it doesn't mean that he wants to give you intellectual stimulation. Doesn't mean that he wants to help you with childcare. Doesn't mean that he wants to help you with practical skills, time and attention, or emotional support. He just met you. He probably just wants to dig you out. And that's the difference between, men and women. When a woman gets with a man, eventually she wants to have a relationship with him if she likes him. A man, it doesn't guarantee that he wants to have a relationship with you just because, y'all are sexually engaged. Number 7, moral support. Men provide moral support, being a pillar of strength and encouragement, especially during challenging times, can make a significant difference. You didn't apply for 100 jobs, but he's telling you, ignore your 5 senses. Although you're not getting what you want right now, just wake up tomorrow and keep going at it. What you want is coming. It's not going to be like this forever. So this includes supporting partners in their career goals, personal projects, and life aspirations. Don't underestimate the other things that men can provide. Number 8, shared responsibilities. Taking on a share of household chores, responsibilities, and tasks shows partnership and teamwork. This can include cleaning, grocery shopping, and managing daily tasks, driving, taking the kids to school, feeding the kids. All of these things can be shared responsibilities. It's not just on one partner. Number 9, protection and security. Providing a sense of safety and security, whether physically or emotionally, is a traditional role that many men take on. This can involve ensuring the family feels safe in their environment or protecting them from harm. And there's no debate. If a guy comes in the middle of the night and you hear a creak, you're going to ask him to go downstairs. And if not, it's over. So there should be no debate on whether or not women should fulfill their womanhood duties to a man. You understand what I'm saying? Number 10, creative input. Men provide and offer creative ideas and solutions that can enrich a relationship. This is just how we're wired. You come to us with a problem and we want to fix it. Whether we can or not, we have creative ideas. This could be anything from planning unique date nights to contributing artistic or intellectual pursuits together. Number 11, network and connections. Using social and professional networks to benefit the family or partner, such as introducing them to new opportunities, new mindsets, or supportive communities. Number 12, health and wellness. Men provide an encouraging atmosphere in participating in healthy lifestyle choices, such as exercising together, cooking healthy meals, or supporting mental health practices, meditating. These are the other things that you guys can provide in a relationship other than money. You don't have to lead with your money. You can have money. It's great to have money, and you should aspire to have as much money as can support you and your lady. However, you need to be a little more well-rounded. Number 13, romance and surprises. Keeping the spark alive with romantic gestures, surprises, and thoughtful acts can strengthen the emotional connection in the relationship. Spontaneity, it helps it not get boring. It helps the woman keep her attention. You're watching a movie, and what would suck is if you're watching a movie and a person keeps turning their head away from the movie, and you wonder why they're doing it. It's because it's not interesting. Number 14, life lessons and wisdom. Some people just don't want life lessons and wisdom. They think they got it all, they know it all, and there's nothing for you to offer them. However, men provide life lessons and wisdom. Sharing life experiences, lessons learned, personal wisdom can all provide and inspire partners to do better, to be better. And number 15, advocacy and representation. Standing up for his partner or family members, advocating for their needs and representing them while they're not around in various settings shows loyalty and support. So, in conclusion, by recognizing and valuing these contributions, we can create a more holistic view of what it means to be a man and a supportive and involved partner, family, and father. This is power, what separates the boys from the men. If you like more content like this, I suggest you give this video a thumbs up, a like, and subscribe to the League of Extraordinary Gentlemen. And until next time, the word is yours.